Hi, this is Brian from Food Power. I'm here with Irene Bojczuk from Roxborough. It's a neighborhood of Philadelphia for those of you around the world. Irene just gave a riveting talk at what I call the best potluck I've been to at Arnold's Way since I began coming in May 2011. I only missed 5.
Wow.
All that time. Irene, will you recap for us what you talked about?
Well, first I'll say I'm a success coach and a personal growth coach. So I thought that in my talk, instead of just telling my story, we would talk a little bit about what does it take to be successful. It doesn't matter what the goal is. All success has certain principles and pitfalls that need to be addressed. And focusing on the diet and the health and fitness goal, we talked about the inner obstacles and the external obstacles that people need to face. Some of the internal obstacles we talked about are believing the programmed myths and social conditioning that we've been taught. And there are a lot of beliefs that we are operating on that are unconscious. And you know, the way we can blame ourselves for not being successful at doing something is often also caused by external factors. Things like how the marketing of the meat and dairy industry and the processed food science really tries to undermine people's health choices by creating addiction to foods that aren't necessarily healthy but cause a lot of profits because of taste and because of crunch and because of the right balance of sugar, fat, and salt. We talked about, what else did we talk about? We talked about taking 100% responsibility for your choices.
Yes.
And taking 100% responsibility for the consequences of those choices versus looking outside of you for the authority figures, looking outside of you for the miracle cures, looking outside of you for magic. It's an extremely different way of living. And we talked about some of the examples of how people don't even realize they're looking for magical cures.
Absolutely. Something that really resonated with me, it's about having your eyes on the prize. I recently read an article about having the eye of the tiger, and these things really go hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned so many times in the beginning of the talk, the middle, the end, you need to be clear about what your vision is, you need to be clear about what your goal is, and it needs to be tangible and measurable. And if you don't have a tangible and measurable goal, you don't know how you're going to know whether you achieved it or not. So hold that vision in mind and keep referring to it over and over again so that you can be drawn towards something that's bigger than you. And then be aware of the reasons why you're doing it in terms of the pain or the consequences of not moving in that direction. So there are reasons why you want to stop eating the old way because of symptoms that you've had. And there are reasons why you want to move in the direction of a better diet because there are benefits. So it's both getting away from pain and moving towards the vision. Both of those things are very helpful.
Irene, we met about fall 2011 at a
Really?
screening of Not Sick and Nearly Dead.
But we knew each other before that.
Before,
Yes.
through the web, yeah.
Yes.
Will you talk briefly about your dietary journey and where it led you to the 8-10-10 diet?
Yeah, you know,
how you're doing on it?
I didn't really have a lot to say at the talk, but I'll tell you, you know, in high school I started thinking about what is healthy in terms of diet. And I asked a random friend, like, I want to eat healthier, what should I be doing? And he said, well, I suppose you could think about how milk is for baby cows and not people. And so I thought, well, that's a good reason to quit dairy. And then I thought, everybody keeps talking about salt is bad for you. So I quit salt. You know, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing in high school. But that's how I started. And then in my 20s, I had severe PMS. And I found that sugar was a main aggravator of the sort of emotional state that I would go into in my PMS, which was really bad for me. And so I gave up sugar, and I gave up grains. And then I heard about the anti-candida diet, and I had candida issues. So I started eating only meat and vegetables with every meal. I gave up all grains, I gave up all junk, all processed food, which is good, but I also gave up all fruit. And I thought that that was really bad. So that was a mistake. A learning experience that was very painful and costly because it caused chronic fatigue, it caused fibromyalgia. It took me 25 years to wake up and realize, through some guidance of a medical intuitive, to change my diet, after which, when I went on the 80-10-10 diet, and I didn't even know that's what it was, it's a high fruit, low fat, raw vegan diet, which means you're eating primarily fruits for breakfast, primarily fruits for lunch, and you're incorporating the kind of raw vegetables that you would eat in a salad. There are a lot of very interesting ways you can prepare those foods, but it's still raw fruits and vegetables. And some nuts and seeds are included in that too. Very shortly after I made those dietary changes and did a short 3-day water fast, all of my symptoms resolved. All of my fibromyalgia went away, my chronic fatigue went away, my mental and emotional state went, whoa, into a whole nother level. So that's the short version.
And you're having runaway success in this diet, would you say?
Yes, I definitely have. I definitely have. It's a commitment. My body tells me immediately, I can't go back.
Yep.
There's no way to go back.
I
know
I'm
too
the
much.
same way.
I know too much, yeah.
Well, congratulations. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Hug. Stay tuned for more. Thank you. Thank you, Irene.